What's up, you guys? How y'all doing today? Well, if you are Meg the Stallion and Tory Lanez, woo, I know your heart's in your chest. Let me tell y'all something. Yesterday, it seemed like, and the day before, that Kelsey had Meg on the ropes. She looked like she got her revenge, and it looked like she had completely nipped or cut Megan Thee Stallion's trial against Tory Lanez off of the knees. But baby, God don't like it when you're ugly. I'm going to get into details into how stupid what Kelsey did. But Kelsey and Tory's defense lawyer, reckless questioning and acting like they had that thing in the bag, blew up their whole case. And things are back. The ball is back to being in the Megan's court. Y'all, what am I talking about? Let's get into detail, all right? And we're going to talk about the law too, because I know a lot of y'all, not y'all, but I know some people don't want to hear it, but y'all just hear me out, because as you can love Megan or hate Megan, yes, a day or two ago, Kelsey had her hemmed up, but guess what? Megan is back, and her case is back to being full force. Why? Because that 80 minutes of testimony that the judge had ruled previously they could not use, they can now use, and it's all Kelsey and that lawyer and the defense lawyer's part being reckless. Let me take y'all through what happened, right? The DA got Kelsey on 80 minutes being like, Tory shot me. He pulled a gun out on me. I was scared for my life. He hit me in the face, dragged me to the ground, right? People had doubts about whether Tory paid Kelsey off. Kelsey had to get paid off because what she did on the stand was very masterful, but it was also very stupid as well. Let me pull back. Tell y'all from 10,000 feet. I believe that Kelsey, her dumb lawyer, and if you guys don't know, right, because this is one of the reasons why it could be that she did it, if you guys didn't know. Kelsey is not only Meg's ex-best friend. Kelsey's husband is the music manager in Houston affiliated with Carl Crawford and 1501. The label that's battling Megan in court over her contract dispute that she calls unconscionable. That's right. Kelsey's husband is part owner in 1501, the label that Meg's suing. Kelsey, well, you know, maybe she got married after the Tory Lanez thing. I don't know. Tory Lanez was swimming in women. I still don't understand how he deserved it, but let's get back on point. Kelsey was supposed to be the prosecution's star witness, even going as far as the prosecution name dropped Kelsey several times in the opening statement. The opening statement is very important because it ties to the closing statement. It is a narrative that you want the jury to believe. All components of the opening statement you have to be 100% sure of, because you're going to argue them in the closing statement. That's why Tory's guilty. By Kelsey saying, yeah, I got your back, and then getting on the stand and being like, what? No, I want immunity. The prosecutor gave her use immunity, but Kelsey's self didn't realize. Kelsey thought she had transactional immunity. What is the difference? We'll talk about that later, but she thought she had transactional immunity. But let's see this game they thought they were playing, okay? Kelsey got on the stand. She said, no, I want use immunity. Prosecutor's like, fine, girl, you get use immunity. Kelsey then got on the stand and said, what? I don't remember. It was so laughable because Kelsey remembered everything Megan did to a detail. And every time you asked her about Tory, she's like, what? Huh? I don't remember. You know, can you go on? It was laughable. The prosecutor at that time said, Your Honor, we have an 80-minute tape where she is admitting to all this stuff. Can we please play it in court to refresh her memory? The judge then, rightly so, said, you can't play the whole 80 minutes because it's not admissible. But in those very narrow confines, you can maybe play a little bit of that tape. Okay. Then the lawyer would ask Kelsey information. Kelsey would say, now the first time she did that, the judge said, sweetie, you don't have to plead the fifth, okay? You have use immunity. You do not have to answer a question that you feel incriminates you. All you have to say is, I don't want to answer that, and they have to move on. This is a condition of use immunity. Don't say you're pleading the fifth. You don't have to. Kelsey kept on saying, I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth. Now here's the thing. She also, right, kept asking the judge, do I have to answer that? And the judge was like, yes, you have to answer. Let me tell you what was going on. And anybody familiar with these type of cases know what was going on. Kelsey and Tory's lawyer thought they were too big slip, right? Even Kelsey's little antics of, were you paid off? I mean, I wouldn't use the word that Corey offered you $1 million. I mean, I wouldn't use those words. He said he'd give me $1 million, but it wasn't just me, right? Fine. She was playing games. By this time, the jury should have been like, girl, you were so paid off, because everything that you gave in vivid detail in September, you are now saying is super foggy. You can't remember anything. And Kelsey thinks, right, that she got out of perjury, because when she gave that 80-minute phone call, right, it wasn't like a sworn affidavit. It wasn't testimony outside of court. It wasn't a deposition, which is testimony outside of court. If you guys don't know, court is considered the witness stand. It's not the actual courtroom. It's anything that's said in the witness stand is something that is sworn in court. Outside, you can do a deposition. Okay, fine. So let me get back on point, because it's such a dumb plan that they thought they'd get away with it. And Kelsey is so stupid for going along with it, but it blew up in her face. This is getting good. So where was I? So Kelsey's playing stupid. The judge is like, whatever. Now, that whole Fifth Amendment thing was something very masterful, because think about it. Kelsey and Tory, it's my opinion, Tory's lawyer thought they had it all figured out. Think about it. You tell the judge and DA, yo, it was Tory, right? So then you don't get brought up on charges. And then my lawyer will be like, listen, we don't know who it was. Could have been Kelsey, right? But it wasn't Tory. And Kelsey thinks she's protected because you have immunity from the prosecution, right? They promised you immunity on anything you said. Okay. So this is why the judge was getting pissed off of her and getting tired of her, because he already told her, you don't have to say I plead the fifth. By her keep saying, I plead the fifth, I plead the fifth, I plead the sixth, I think a lot of the legal professionals in the court started thinking, girl, you're doing this for show. You're doing this to the jury to create reasonable doubt. Again, she thinks she's protected. So she's like, I plead the fifth. I don't want to incriminate myself. The judge keeps telling her, you don't have to keep saying that. She keeps saying that. She's acting with an attitude. As much as she says that Meg is belligerent, maybe they're both belligerent. I don't know. Kelsey was giving attitudes to the court. The judge was tired with her. Even the way every question, whether it was about her or not. She's like, do I have to answer that? The judge was like, yes, you have to answer that. You only can refuse to answer things that incriminate you. This cannot incriminate you. Answer the question. The judge was tired of her. They thought they had it figured out. But like most people, think about it. And I, for a second, was feeling real sad. Like, wow, this actually might work. Tory's pointing the finger at Meg. Meg's pointing, and Meg is like, was supposed to be pointing the finger back at Tory, but she's like, I don't know what happened. Sorry, not Meg, Kelsey. Kelsey even went as far as to say that she didn't hear gunshots. And she wasn't certain if it was Tory that shot her. She said she didn't hear gunshots. They have gunshots on the surveillance cameras in the neighborhood that Kelly, you cannot tell me she was not standing 5 feet away, got gunpowder on her. That's how close she was with Tory. Got gunpowder on her, but didn't hear gunshots. Yeah, she was playing. And one thing, again, I will say she overplayed her hand because, again, a lot of people thought, I don't know. But once she did that, people were like, Kelsey, of course you got paid off. But let's get into how she overplayed her hand. Because, baby, it happened in threefold. First of all, let's talk about that transactional immunity. Kelsey was playing games on that witness stand. And that defense attorney kept saying, what about Tory paying you off? Tory didn't pay you off. He kept asking so many questions. They were getting cocky with it because they really thought they were going in for the kill. But listen to this. Y'all just got to hear this, right? When it did become clear during Tory's defense, Tory's questioning of Kelsey, the cross-examination, what did become clear was that Kelsey didn't fully understand the scope of her use immunity, meaning nothing derived from her testimony may be used against her in a criminal proceeding. That was offered to her by prosecutors ahead of her testimony on Wednesday. When the defense questioned whether she genuinely understood that, she was so stupid and being so reckless with her lies. Tory's lawyer said, in the middle of court, you understand that you have use immunity, not transactional immunity, right? If she genuinely understood that, and that she could face serious legal consequences if she perjured herself in court, Kelsey got shook, literally asked to take a break, and stepped into the hallway with her attorney, David Nardoni, to discuss the issue. This is how much Kelsey was lying. Let's not forget that when they asked her, did Tory offer to pay for your lawyer? Kelsey said yes. They then asked that Tory paid, and she's like, I don't know who paid for my lawyer. Y'all, Tory, it looks like, even paid for Kelsey's lawyer. Kelsey was so shook and getting so reckless with her lies that they literally had to step out in the hall to explain to her what would happen if Kelsey was telling the truth. But let's get into this. Where she messed up, Woo! Because this is good. She said, y'all listen to this? The judge ruled that they were going to let that 80-minute tape that was going to make Kelsey completely commit perjury and made her look like the biggest liar and had all the stuff they said about Tory that the prosecution was talking about. The judge ruled that 80-minute tape is now admissible. You want to know why? Woo, your girl's back. They said jurors can hear the full 80-minute interview where Megan Thee Stallion's former close friend and assistant told law enforcement that she saw rapper Tory Lanez shoot her. Do you know why that happened? I'll tell you why. Let's get into this. And it is being noted by legal experts, it happened largely because, right? And this is objectively speaking. If you don't know, subjective is what y'all call, you're biased, that's subjective. Objectively is that any person, regardless of whether you are for or against Tory, would see the same. Objectively, because the really reckless cross-examination of Kelsey by Tory's lawyer. Let's get into it, y'all. What happened was Tory's lawyer repeatedly questioned Kelsey about the interviewer, asking if prosecutors had pressured her to make a statement. Kelsey said, I felt like I had to. And she said, Tory's lawyer then said, your goal was to incriminate my client and keep yourself out of it? Kelsey said, no. Somebody said, are you afraid of my client, Tory Lanez? That's what the defense said. Kelsey said, no. However, the district attorney, Alexander Balt, told the judge that Tory's lawyer's questions about Harris's interview and interaction with prosecutors were unacceptable and unprofessional, and had opened the door for the entire recording of Kelsey's interview to be played because it will show Kelsey was only told to tell the truth. And guess what? The judge decided at the end of the day to allow the whole 80-minute tape, saying it was admissible under California Evidence Code 1235 and 770 regarding prior witness statements and inconsistency with current testimonies. That means jurors will hear the full recording of Kelsey speaking with prosecutors less than 2 months ago about the July 12, 2020 fight. Woo! You guys, this is huge. Kelsey repeatedly contradicted herself and showed a withdrawn demeanor. You guys, this is huge. Do you realize that if Kelsey hadn't lied so bad, and did you realize that if Tory's lawyer hadn't gone in for the kill, do you realize that 80-minute tape would have never been allowed in, and Tory would have had a much, much, much better way to get out of this, y'all? And let me tell you something about Kelsey. I don't know Kelsey and Tory, or Tory's lawyers, in my opinion, thought they had it figured out. You point the finger, I don't say anything, they can't do anything, boom, we both walk free. And the fact that Kelsey's dumb self actually fell for that, because that's the thing, yeah, that all works in law and order, but things never quite play out with it. And now Kelsey is looking at serious perjury charges. She is pissed off the judge, and the DA is out for blood. Baby, let's wait for the break. But woo, your girl is back. Things are back to not looking good for Tory. And guess what? Kelsey, you hemmed up too. I'll talk to y'all later. I'll keep you updated.